Hey y'all, I am back with some food for thought for you. All right, so today I'm hitting you with some good old food for thought. Okay, so the food for thought today is when things are not working out for you, right? How do we go about it? So here we go. Okay, so let's say we are applying for a job and this job is making it impossible for, or like let's say you've applied for like a few jobs, and these jobs are all in the same area. Let's say you're trying to be, I don't know, a lawyer, and you've been you've gone to school, you've graduated, you're ready to be a lawyer. You're ready, right? You went through hell to go to school. You've put busted your ass. You've put in all the work possible, and you cannot find a job as a lawyer for nothing in the world, right? And then you get an offer to do something with law, but it has nothing to do with being a lawyer, right? But it came easy. It came easy to you. But being a lawyer, it has not happened. You've tried and tried and tried over and over and over again, and it hasn't came to you. At some point, you have to stop and ask yourself, am I meant to be a lawyer? Is that for me? Is that in my cards? So to get back on topic, which I mean this is on topic, but to get to the point, um, some things are not meant for you, even if you truly have worked for it. They're just not for you. And as a human being, right, I feel like we tend to hyper fixate on things when there's times that that's just not for you. Like it's inevitable. Like yes, it's your path. Maybe it's like something that you've always really wanted, but to some degree, this is just guiding you to another direction, to something else, to something that has truly you written all over it. And I feel like we tend to miss that. We tend to miss that message, right? So for another example, I know tons of people that like they're like, yeah, like I studied to do this and they ended up doing something else. And it's like, did I waste my time studying to do that thing that I was studying and ended up doing this other thing? And my response to that is you have a path. Everyone has a purpose. And sometimes your purpose is not what you thought or what you would rather. And not in the worst way, because you can still use, like, for example, let's say you want to be a lawyer and you go to school for it and you don't find, which honestly I think this is hard because usually like if you're got you becoming a lawyer, then you're probably gonna find a firm, or you're gonna do something in that. But let's say you want to become a lawyer, and let's say you get offered a political position instead because of your degree, right? You can be someone political because of the knowledge you have of the law, right? And maybe that's who you're meant to be, Maybe that's your life path. Maybe it's not to be a lawyer, but maybe you needed to know what a lawyer knows. So trusting the process, trusting the pro let's rewind this because the the key message here, the food for thought is, are you trusting the process? Okay? So that's your journal prompt for today. Is, are you trusting the process when you go through things and they don't work out for you? And granted, sometimes they do work out for you, right? And maybe along the way you meet new people and they expose you to other things and you become passionate over these things. Don't, because you've studied to be a lawyer all your life, don't feel that you have to be a lawyer. You have to, like, nothing forced is good. Nothing forced is good. So trust the process is the term here. So food for thought. Trust the process. Sometimes things are hard for a reason. Sometimes things don't work out for a reason. It's redirection, confirmation. It's redirection. It is a form of life showing you your path, your purpose, what you were here to do. And I feel like it is so easy to get lost in the depression and anxiety and thinking like, oh, am I good enough? Am I doing the right things? What am I doing? Like, did I just waste my time? Did I just, just go put myself through law school for all of this to just not be who I thought I was supposed to be? But sometimes you aren't who you thought you were supposed to be. Sometimes there's greater things out there for you. And the more that you resist, I feel like the more lost you'll feel, the more anxious you'll feel, the more depressed you'll feel, or not to take it to such a deep level, then the more unhappy you'll feel, right? So at some point you need to start asking yourself, am I doing this? And is it not working out for me for a reason? Right? I can't tell you the amount of things that I've invested in my life for me. Um, I listen. I have a phlebotomist certificate. I have an EKG certificate. I have I've been to sound engineering school. I've invested in modeling, in talent agencies. I've invested in so many different avenues in my life. And when you come to think of it, I'm here on YouTube now and I'm happier than ever, but full of experience. And I feel like that is truly what life is about. And I feel like we lose ourselves in trying to be exactly who we thought we were supposed to be. And that's just not life. Sometimes you have to go through all these things, all these barriers to figure out, okay, no, this is not truly what makes me happier. This is not truly what I want. Or this is not truly where I belong. And I feel like as a human being, we all go through this. I mean, granted, there's these people that they're born with this. I was born to be, I don't know, a doctor. I was born to be a doctor and they become a doctor. I was born to be a lawyer and they become a lawyer. I was born, and that's a beautiful thing too, you know? And even then, at some point, you're like, okay, so what's next? Once you get to where you are, and once you've maybe fulfilled your dream, and granted, this is not for everyone. Not everyone will feel that way, right? But a lot of times we do find ourselves in like a sadness and a depression, or in an unhappiness, or in a anxiety, because we're not letting the path the path transform or evolve the way it's supposed to, because we're so adamant on what it is that we think that we're supposed to be doing. So, resistance, when life is giving you resistance, picking up, not giving up, because there are some things, sometimes you do have to fight for what you want, you know. Sometimes the resistance isn't always like a redirection, but a lot of times it is. A lot of the times it is redirection. So paying attention to when life is redirecting you, paying attention to where things are becoming too hard or too difficult, and trying to put the puzzle pieces together, like, why is this so difficult right now? What am I missing? Is there something that I'm meant to be doing that is not what I'm doing? Is there something that I'm meant to move forward in that I'm not seeing? So, zooming out of the bigger picture is so important at times, because you will find yourself in a place where you feel stuck in or stagnant in like what you're doing, because you don't find the answers, because you don't see it working out for you. And not in terms of like you don't have hope, in terms to there's a lot of blockages. Like, there's a, I don't know, let's say you want to be a writer, you want to write your own show, and there's a writer's um blockage. You can't write, you can't write. Maybe you're meant to write a book instead of a show. Maybe you're meant to speak. Maybe you're meant to, there's so many avenues in which you can fulfill your life goals, and it still be and it be the most fulfilling. And sometimes we feel like, because we're in this paradigm of like what you're expecting in this in this block, right? You're seeing it for what this is, and this is what you want, and this is what you've been working for, and this is, but sometimes this that you worked on is just for experience. And it sounds crazy that we put ourselves out there in that way, that we do this for to ourselves, that we find ways to make ourselves happy and end up not doing anything with what it is that we found. And sometimes you could feel like, dang, am I wasting my time? Like, was this a waste of time, of money, of of commute, of everything? Because right, you engage so deeply into these things, but a lot of the times we are being redirected. We need to start trusting the process so much more, because a lot of the times there's a reason why things aren't working out for you. There's a reason why there's delays, or why you can't find the job that you're looking for. There's something else out there for you. So when you find yourself in a place where nothing is giving, and you feel like something's got to give, something's got to give, that is when you have to start to consider zooming out and consider where life is really trying to take you. Consider what else you can do that will bring you great joy, or what else is it around you that needs of you, because a lot of times it's truly just a part of the process. Sometimes you're not born to be the lawyer you thought you were, or the doctor you thought you were, or the singer you thought you were. There's a bunch of people that probably thought they were going to be the biggest star in America, the biggest star in the world, and ended up maybe writing the music for someone and still fully living a fully fulfilled life, right? In a way that maybe that it was worked out better for them, right? So pay attention to those things that aren't working out for you, even if you do and have invested so much into them. A lot of the times these are the things that are pointing you into your purpose. And because we're so um, reluctant on what it is that's happening, what it is that you want, what it is, we don't release, we don't see that there is a bigger picture. We don't put ourselves out there in different ways. And it truly does start to affect us, especially as human beings, in a form of, you know, like I said, it could be emotionally, like depression, or it could be like, you being unhappy. There's a lot of things in this life that can make you happy. So pay attention to those things. Pay attention to the things that are not working out for you, as well as you pay attention to the things that are working out for you. And that's when you start finding your purpose. That's where you start finding where these things were leading you. And that's the food for thought. I really hope that this helped you because honestly, that helped me a lot. So, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this helped you. And a journal prompt is how are the journal prompt is how am I trusting the process? In what way am I trusting the process? And I feel like you will unlock things that you did not think were possible, that you did not think of. And you'll start seeing patterns and reasons, and you'll start putting two and two together. Remember that life experiences can be a part of your process and don't have to be the reason for your process. So, see you on the next one. Bye. Thank you.